Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode, special week episode. Whoop, whoop. We are trying to get some Google form questions answered, and we have Eric and Tina.
Hi.
Hey.
And Spout.
Meow.
Meow. Hey, everybody, this is Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze. I have with me Tina Bobina. I can't think of it. Tina Stanaitis and Eric Fief Oakley.
Like it, yes.
He likes his fiefs. Fief. Anyway, so we're just chilling here, guys. This is going to be our second episode we recorded with Eric and Tina. They're going to be here all week. They're getting some things done, getting some warehouse shopping done, getting their RV wrapped. And I thought, let's bust out some Google form questions. So we're going to do that. So not much really to talk about. You want to just hop into the questions?
Yeah. Play disc golf. Be dynamic.
Yeah.
Good
Get
thing to talk about.
get active, play disc golf.
Like it.
Dan Brown asks, hey, howdy, guys. My wife and I would like to introduce some kids to disc golf this summer.
Great.
Could you recommend some discs that would be suitable for kids 8 to 10? I would like to hear any other tips for kids that you may have.
I love the idea of getting some juniors for the smaller kids. It's a tough idea of when kids should stop throwing juniors and what size, which we haven't fully figured out. But we have a lot of great discs across from the Proof, the Gavel, and the Breakout. Yeah. I think those are great options. We could easily throw in the Pearl, the Jade, the Ruby, the Diamond are all great options for juniors, and it's actually probably more what they should be throwing. And if those aren't options, I would suggest getting some of the Air plastic, like the Air Witness, or maybe even an Air Renegade is the fastest thing I would suggest.
Any of the ones he's mentioned, though, have smaller rim sizes, so it's easy for kids to hang on to.
Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing, the smaller rim size so that they can hold on to it. So I would almost say for the juniors, if you've got a young kid that they just want some discs to throw around, give them some juniors, judge, junior sheriff. But if you're giving it to say, hey, let's figure out disc golf, let's go play some disc golf, then maybe pick up those breakouts. And
that's
definitely
a great option.
As an introduction, the juniors are really fun.
Yeah,
and great for smaller hand size. But if you want them to really play the sport, some of those lighter weights can be really good too.
Totally.
Next one is the next one is from Logan. My disc took a huge skip, then roll. When it stopped, I was stuck behind a row of bushes that eliminated straddle or turbo putt.
Okay.
The options were roller around or go under. There was about a 6 to 8 inch gap under the bushes. With my disc upside down, I slid it in a shuffleboard manner under the bushes. It slid well on dead grass and was parked. Is this legal? My hand was in front of me at one point in the push, but I never used it as an aid to balance. I never touched grass, only my disc.
So what I'm assuming is he like a disc is like this, and he puts his hand on it,
laying on the ground,
slid it.
So the disc. Okay, so with my disc upside down, I slid it into in a shuffleboard manner under the bushes. So the disc was on the ground. He put his hand on the disc and he slid it. I don't know.
I would say yes. And this is just me because it's a throwing motion, and he is using his hand to propel it. But now the only thing that could come in there that might deem it not a legal throw, would be it's being supported by the ground,
right?
And you're not allowed to use it.
That's where the disc comes to rest.
Yeah, but I feel like it's
intent to throw.
Man, this is a great question.
Maybe we have to look up the definition of a throw. Maybe discuss it while I look through it.
I think it's a good play. But I think you see a lot of people, they'll pick the disc up and
they still kind of throw it.
And they'll pick it up and throw it from not on the ground. Because if you're using the ground as an aid, it's like using a tree as to stabilize you in a way. But it's in the throw. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a tricky question.
According to BDJ 802.01 throw, a throw is the propulsion and release of a disc in order to change its position. Each throw that is made as a competitive attempt to change the lie is counted.
Yeah.
I would say yes.
That sounds super legal to me. Mm-hmm.
If there might be some, I would check into the rule book a little bit more. If I were him, I don't.
Intent to throw. It's not like he accidentally shuffled it.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
It's intended to make it move forward.
It's the support.
As long as he's behind it, and as long as he wasn't leaning, like you said, he wasn't leaning to support. He just threw it. I guess so. That's
sounds legal to me.
Sounds legal to me, but I would refer to your rules just to be safe.
Yeah,
always.
Don't be at a tournament and go, but Eric and Tina told me on the disc golf answer.
Well, but he could say
that might not work.
According to 80.
Yeah, according to the
2.01,
I'm not doing anything that the rule you're not
legal.
doing anything that the rule says you shouldn't do.
Right.
So.
All right, next one is from John Doe. I recently won the lottery. Nice. More money than I can spend in a lifetime. I would like to make disc golf my main focus for the next few years and wanted to hear what you all would do. I've bought a massive bus and plan to start driving around North America soon, then flying to some of the bigger international tournaments. I have also bought 100 acres of land in my hometown and I hired a few guys to mow it, treed, and ready.
Wow.
2x18 and multiple baskets. That's all I don't understand.
So what would we do?
There's no question?
What are some things that we would do that he probably should go and see or play?
What you're doing is a great start. I love that. You're going to go on tour. That's a great idea. The national tour and pro tour scene is, I guess, the first place I would go. Even if you just want to watch disc golf, it's the best players in the world.
And the venues are usually well kept, well run. So you're going to be in a place where you're going to see quality tournaments and quality golf.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you guys do? You won the lottery. More money than you can spend in a lifetime.
We'd go to Europe for sure.
Yes. We've only heard great things about Sweden and Finland and what they have to offer for disc golf. So we definitely want to be there at some point. We're hoping 2019 might offer some opportunities, but we'll see.
I love the idea of building some courses. I'd do some bed and breakfast disc golf course resort. That's what I would do.
Yeah. That would be really, really cool.
Two of my dreams in one.
Would you buy a bigger RV?
Yes.
Yes.
100% yes.
A more comfortable RV for us to be living in.
If we had all the money to stay at every RV park ever, then we'd do it for sure. We keep a small one because we need to park at places.
The one place I would say you have to go is Vermont. The Green Mountain Championships that happens there, it's Worlds this year, is it's beautiful that time of year, and it's a place that I would never I want every single person to be able to go there, and it's great that Worlds is going to be there this year. I've been talking to so many pros who haven't been to that tournament yet, and it is one of the best tournaments we play all year.
I'll be there for first time,
dude. It's awesome.
I'll be there.
Thank you, Tina. I'll be there vlogging, so hopefully I'll bring that experience back with me on the video. Next question comes from Alec. Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man. I'm a junior in high school and I'm trying to get a disc golf club started at my school. I live in an area where disc golf isn't necessarily well known, so I expect that a lot of beginners will join the club. What are some tips you guys have to make the club enjoyable for novices and experienced players alike? Thanks for all you do for the sport. Your podcast is the highlight of my week.
Nice. So my thought processing behind getting everyone involved in your clubs and stuff like that is, the concept of a handicap. A handicap league is great because you're allowing for your novice players to be able to compete on the same terms as your top players. Now, running a bunch of different style events, doubles and stuff like that, random draw, bring your own partners and whatnot are huge. And if you can find ways to get people to donate different stuff for giveaways and CTPs, those tend to draw in more players. They want to be active. Now you're giving a lot.
Yeah.
So you have to do the right things about bringing the right funds into your club. If you're very transparent from the get-go, you're going to be in good shape. Working with any pros or traveling RVs or traveling players at the time, that's a great place to bring people in to show like, hey, this club is working hard. We're wanting to bring good players to our local scene and put on a style of event like clinics. Tina and I do that a lot, and we've been able to get to a bunch of different clubs, and it's always been really fun. So if you can find people who are willing to do it, and that's a great way to grow the club in general. Being versatile, I think, is the best thing you can do when it comes to having your club. Don't just do, we run tags on Tuesdays, we do this on this day. Like, change it up. Change the format up. All right, we're going to do, just straight up scores this week, and then we'll do a handicap the next week. And bring your own partner doubles this week to random draw doubles the next week. So you're allowing for it to be different, and players get to play in different formats, which I think is very good.
Excellent. Next one is from Rick. I've been playing for about 6 months now. My putting is overall atrocious.
Okay.
But I found a little trick that has helped. When I get to about 50 feet and in, I line it up, take my practice motions, then I putt with my eyes closed. It really seems to help my throw using just natural feel. I've gone from making 3 out of 10 putts to around 7 out of 10 putts. I putt with a Warden, by the way. Have you heard of anyone doing this before? Should I give up the gimmick? Thanks for the podcast.
Never heard something like that. I wouldn't suggest putting with your eyes closed. I wouldn't say keep doing it going forward. But if you can, you're building something in that motion of you're having less distractions. If you can kind of zero in and zero in your focus, you're going to be much better off on those putts. Yeah. What do you think, Bobby?
It is, you said it yourself, Rick, that should I give up this gimmick? I think it's in your mind that you're going to do better. And I think it's probably anecdotal that I would say if you were to do this 6 months down the road, you would not still be getting this 7 out of 10 compared to if you kept your eyes open.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that's a sustainable strategy. You're not going to become the basket whisperer where you can. Yeah. and I'm having fun with it, Rick. But no, there's just too much that, especially what if it's super windy? I mean, what if you can't just look at it and close your eyes and hope that it goes in. You've got to be able to, the minute, you walk up to it, you may have to, you watch someone putt, you've got to make some adjustments based off what you just saw happen as far as the wind. Then so you walk up to your lie. What's the wind doing there? What's the wind doing near the basket? All kinds of variables that happen that I don't think you can just kind of close your eyes and wish for it to go in.
I do think there's some merit to, like I said, he's not thinking
right
whenever
Absolutely.
his eyes are closed,
yeah.
Which is great. So you take all that information in and finding a way to tune out everything while your eyes are open, so you can, like you said, be able to react
right
to specific things that are happening. Like if you see that there is a little bit more headwind, to spin the disc a little bit more, maybe lower your aim just a little bit to have the disc rise. All those factors definitely come into play, because you don't want to think, close your eyes, throw, and then you didn't judge it completely. Now, do what's working best for you, but if you can use that same mindset to carry you forward, you're going to be in great shape for putting in the future. Now, you're talking about making 50 footers. You've been playing. He said he'd been playing
6 months. I think
6 months. You shouldn't even be worried about making 50 footers.
Yeah.
You should be focusing on, am I making everything from 20 feet and in? Yes. All right, great. Am I making everything from 25 feet and in? Okay, if that answer continues to be yes, then you go to 30 feet, and then you go to 35 feet.
Yeah.
And once you're at that 35-foot marker, I don't think there's a whole lot to do with, all right, I need to continue to be 100% all the way out to 45, 50. Even Rickie Wysocki isn't at that mark. Yes, it looks like it on camera, but I have seen him miss plenty of putts. I've played with him, but he's not out there, practicing his 50-footers. He's jamming inside the circle putts because he knows his motion. He knows that those mechanics will lead to success when he goes outside the circle. Is it safe to say if you're thinking you have to practice your 50-footers, 40-footers, then you're probably practicing the wrong thing? You need to practice your upshot? I think so. Yeah. Because that's a great point, is if you can say that I'm throwing all of my shots to 20 feet instead of 40 feet, I'm in really good shape to have a very successful tournament. Yeah, you've put the odds a little more in your favor, I would say, if you've practiced that upshot much better. All right, next question comes from Britt. Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man, I've been casually playing for about 2 years, but looking to start playing my local league and some tournaments this year. In my bag currently, I have an Optoline Pain, Biofusion EMAC Truth, a Gold Line Claymore, and a Tournament Plastic Tursus. Is there any overlap in the mid-range disc that I have in my bag? Also, if you had to choose between a St. Pro or a Convict, which one would you pick? So, with the Pain, the EMAC Truth, the Claymore, and the Tursus, do you see any overlap in its mid-ranges? Nope. Not even close. The Pain is a good overstable mid-range. I've seen AJ Risley throw one around. I know he was still testing out a bunch of discs, and it's got a really good flight. It's definitely unlike the EMAC Truth, so he's in good shape there. The EMAC is the most versatile mid-range in all of the lineups, I think. And the Claymore is it's a really special, straight, but slightly understable mid-range with great glide. And then the Tursus, we know, is very understable. So I don't think there's much. None of that would be overlapping. Yeah. Mm-mm. What do you think on the St. Pro and Convict? Have you thrown the St. Pro?
I think they're different enough.
But have you? Which would you choose?
Convict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having thrown both, they're different enough to where I think you could use both, because the St. Pro to me it felt a little glidier. It had more glide.
And more glidey.
It had more glidiness. And when it finished, it always seemed to finish very straight. Where the Convict has good glide but has they have the same type of turn, but out of the Convict you get a heavier finish. Where the St. Pro, I always felt it would flip and turn, and when it was finishing it would be penetrating forward, where the Convict seemed like it was pushing more left. I've thrown the Convict. I used to throw the Saint. I've never really had a reason to pick up the St. Pro. I used to really like the Saint. In fact, it's one that I've wanted to maybe revisit. So, yeah. All right, next question comes from Matt. You okay, Danny?
No, I'm trying to remember if I deleted the questions.
All righty then. Sorry about that, guys. Danny was giving me a weird stare over here. So anyway, but speaking of Danny, by the way, here pretty soon on the Dynamic Disc YouTube channel, he's going to go through and he's going to select some Disc Golf Answer Man questions, and he's going to answer them for you via video. Nice. So that'll be some good stuff. So look forward to that. Make sure you're subscribed, youtube.com/dynamicdiscs. Matt asks, hi guys, I'm a middle school teacher, and myself and two colleagues of mine are in the process of starting a disc golf club at our school. Boy, a lot of people want.
That's great.
We plan to teach students about the game, let them watch pro coverage and play some putting games in the gym during the colder months, and bring them outside to play a makeshift course once the weather warms up. Any advice on activities for both inside and outside to make sure they are having fun and learning to play the game properly? I would say the biggest thing is you've got to have Ring of Fire. And if you don't know what Ring of Fire is, that's basically what you're doing. You're going to put a basket in the middle. It'll end up being the middle. And then you form a circle around the basket. It could probably 10 feet out to get them started. If you want to go a little more, you can, depending on how many people you have there. And then, of course, everybody has putters or a putter. And then you got to do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, fire. And everybody tries to put it into the basket. And there's just something about 20 people doing that at the same time that makes it
really
like a fun thing. Now you can get like what we normally do at tournaments. We haven't done it in a while at a DD tournament, but we give away prizes. Like we give a hat, a disc, a shirt, or something like that. So because what you do is everybody putts, and then the people that made it go grab their discs. Everybody else stays there. The people that made it try again until you get down to the last person, the only one person left that made the putt.
Another cool twist is you can do, say, okay, after you've done it a few times, you say, okay, now everybody do their opposite hand. And they have to putt with that. Everybody turn around. Straddle putt or whatever. So that's one thing to do. What's another thing you guys think they could do?
I think doing things like that to keep it fun and keep them interested is a great way to make sure that it's going to be a success and these kids are going to want to continue to play. There's like knockout style games, but then you run into the issue of kids throwing discs while other kids are near the basket. So you want to make sure that they stay safe because they're kids and, they sometimes
get overzealous.
They get overzealous. Exactly. Right. And then they do dumb things and, it's fine. So if you can find a way to keep it safe.
We hate kids. No, I'm playing.
Yeah. I have actually done a disc golf thing with kids and that was sometimes the issue is sometimes some kids had to sit out because they didn't play by the rules because they thought it was funny to hit their friend. And it's just like, what'd I tell you? I gave you the idea from the get-go to not do that. But make sure it's fun. Get out and have them play. Let them play doubles with their friends. Let them, do different competitions. Make everybody feel like a winner when it comes down to it. Because if you can get them sparked, they'll get more involved.
Just teaching like the different kinds of throws and making them everybody throw a backhand from this shot or this tee pad or whatever it is. And then everyone throw a forehand from this shot. And
bag of tricks.
Another concept too, Eric just said, we've done some stuff with kids and having some pros come in and just do a simple lesson and kind of show off their skills. Kids love seeing us throw far. Oh, yeah. They think it's the coolest thing. So that's a good idea too to get like some excitement going.
I remember I did that in Bartlesville. It was just 5 Boy Scouts and somebody wanted me to do it. And I was like, I'm nothing. Okay. And they're like, it's not just so. And I threw it and they're like, whoa. And I'm like, okay, guys, this is nothing compared to what other people do.
Yeah.
Another thing to make sure is to keep it super, super basic and super simple.
Yes.
Because if you've been, okay, so Matt, I don't know how long you've been playing, but if you've got some kids out there and they're throwing them and they're going straight up in the air and down, they're not following through, they're not, reaching back, don't worry about that. Just let them throw the disc because you don't want to get too technical and then them lose interest in it.
Absolutely.
If they are interested, they'll go into it and research further and figure it all out. But keep it super basic.
If they ask, that's whenever you can open up the opportunity to teach more in depth.
James from Colorado Springs, he asks, how important is it to get your disc to turn when trying to get distance? I can throw 350 feet max flat ground with an in of a wraith. And he put the numbers in there as if he thinks I'm going to care about the numbers. I'm just teasing you. I'm kidding. Anyway, I'm sure you guys are familiar with an in of a wraith. But this is with a straight flight and pretty strong fade. Would I get more distance by changing to something more understable? What disc in DD's lineup fits that bill? P.S. I live at an altitude of 6,000 feet.
Yes, you will get more distance if the disc has some amount of turn. You don't see the top throwers or top distance throwers in the world throwing hyzer shots 550 feet. They throw hyzers probably about 475 to 500 feet. And that's still using a slightly understable disc that wants to glide more. So it might hyzer and stand up some, but that's allowing it to continue to stay in the air. When you see the max distance throws, a lot of the time it's almost like a flex shot where they're taking something on the overstable side, pushing it over and allowing it to hold with that speed and acceleration that they have out of their hand. And it holds. And then whenever it starts to come out, it pushes straight for a little bit before it finishes. And that's when you see some real distance shots.
It's all about like angles and really committing to your angles and also having the right stability for your arm speed. It's a really important combination.
Disc-wise, I would say the Renegade is a great option, especially if you're at high altitude.
Elevation, yeah.
And it's a similar speed to the Wraith. It says it's an 11 speed, which the Wraith is as well. And I would say it's a beat up Wraith. So you're going to be able to see that natural turn out of the disc. If you want something that might be more similar to the Wraith, I would
comparable.
The Trespass will be a little bit faster, and then the Flow would also be an option from Latitude 64. So my first suggestion, Renegade, try it. It might be a little understable for what you're used to, but you should be able to test out the angles and get some really, really good distance from it.
Excellent. Next one is from Douglas. Hello. I need a disc for hyper flips that drift right and finish straight or back left, right hand, backhand thrown.
Hyper flip?
What he says?
Hyzer.
I've been able, it probably means hyzer flip.
Right. But
oh,
continue.
You want me to read it again? Or no?
Yeah, read it again.
Sometimes I have to do that. I need a disc for hyzer flips that drift right and finish straight or back left, right hand, backhand thrown.
Okay.
I've been able to get this flight from a Fury first run 169 gram, but lately it seems the disc is too easily overpowered and flips over and goes straight into the ground and cut rolls.
I see.
I would power down, but to achieve the distance, I need it to be thrown hard.
Mm-hmm.
Should I possibly buy a heavier Fury, or do you guys have a suggestion from the DD lineup? Thank you guys for your answers.
I throw Furies as well, and I have some that no matter how I throw them, they will turn right and stay right. And I like to throw them with power. And then I have some newer ones, and all in the same weight range that you're throwing as well, that will go straight for me and finish for me. So the more you throw a disc, the more beat in it gets, and it loses some of that stability that you want in your disc. So sometimes that means you have to change out your discs a lot, but also I'm not sure how long you've been playing, but if you just started throwing, a lot of times we grow out of our discs because we're understanding angles better, we're getting more power, stuff like that. So you might have grown out of a Fury by now, and you have more arm speed and more understanding of how to throw discs better. So maybe an upgrade from a Fury would be a Thief.
I would go as far as saying the Maverick.
Maverick, yes.
The Maverick
That's
is a little bit
release we've got
more
coming out.
Is a little bit more stable than the Fury. I think it's not a whole lot, but you'll get a very similar flight, but have a little bit more finish. The next disc I would suggest would be an Explorer. Is also a good option in that slot. The Thief to me was always a little bit, when I threw it for air shots, was it flipped a lot, and it didn't fade. It didn't want to fade.
Your arm speed's
I was going to say,
crazy.
as you guys listen to this, remember Oakley throws far and hard. Yes, he throws very hard.
A Thief for me was more stable than a Fury for sure.
Yeah.
It would come out unless it was beat in for a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then if the next step up would be a Convict, but at the same time, that's another Convict for me, flips up and then finishes hard, as I mentioned earlier. So Maverick seems like a great place to start.
The Maverick's a very good disc. Yeah, it's definitely, anybody should start with them. No, they should they should try it because it's really good. That one turned out really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that someone actually debated with us. I can't remember where. Because you mentioned about you might have outgrown your disc, and someone literally said you can't outgrow your disc, and I'm thinking, how? Yes,
I threw a 150 Valkyrie when I first started playing, and there's no way I can throw that disc.
I
now.
think what happens is people tend to find that like a Valkyrie. Everybody knows Valkyrie. Everybody knows Destroyer. Everybody knows Trespass. And they think that they have to make the disc work for them, so they start changing the angle, the release angles and stuff like that. And I don't think that's the proper way to do it. You need to make the disc do the work, but you need to have a consistent throw. Now, obviously, there's going to be some changes you do depending on the throw, but your throw needs to be as consistent as possible, and then you got to find the right tool to do it.
Absolutely.
So,
outgrowing your disc I can understand where that person is coming from, as in
you can throw anything.
You should always be able to throw the disc. It's like, yes, but you outgrow it because you will probably succeed more with some other discs that are going to be better for the same angle you want to throw and are comfortable throwing.
I can't throw a diamond as hard as I can throw a Trespass. So why would I throw a diamond when it can't handle the kind of power. I could throw it for a roller with the same kind of power that I'd throw on a trespass, but
This was from Logan on the 2017 Memorial Championship round 1 part 2 on YouTube. Rickie taps in time after time with his hand on his cart. Is that a foot fault? Putting with a backpack on still leaves you freestanding. A hand on the cart, whether it holds you up or not, seems a lot like leaning on a tree.
Yeah. Okay. I see your point, but also, here's to spin it in a different way. Like I can completely see it, and I can totally agree that he might be having a stance violation here. Now, was he getting a benefit from holding onto his cart? Was he trying to gain an advantage by doing so? I don't think so.
Oh, no. The answer is no.
Yes. And did it help him make that putt?
No.
No. So that would be the probably the reason why no competitor
it's kind of
called
like
him
the
on
spirit
it.
of the game thing. Like, why would you ever call him on that?
Plus, he says he's tapping in,
Right.
so he's obviously it's a gimme.
Maybe, and I can understand maybe by the definition of the rule, he
Right.
could be violating his stance. But in the moment, the players who are around him are watching, or they should be, and none of them are thinking that he's gaining advantage or he's using it to keep his balance.
Right.
So no person in that point is going to call it. So that's it. That's the gray
Plus, it's
areas.
not part of the course. I wonder if that would play into. Well, but if it was just sitting there, maybe.
But
it
I mean,
would
think
be.
of it if he was going for like a 40-foot putt and he was using it for some kind of balance. For some reason.
Yeah, then people
Right.
would call him on
it. But my thing is, now I'm not saying you shouldn't play by the rules. So don't be all Mr. Rule Nazi and be like, but rules are rules. If anybody that says you should play by the rules, it's me. But again, it's just a tap in. If you were in a casual round, I imagine you probably just pick it up because it's a gimme. You're going to make it. And if you're going to be that person that, you need to call him on it. But I always like the rebuttal to that as well. I bet you've broken a rule in disc golf. Mm-hmm. I bet you've taken longer than 30 seconds or whatever to get your disc or get your lie and get going. So, these people that try to pick out the rules when they watch a video, sometimes I think take it to the nth degree. And I think,
agree.
Yeah,
it's like becoming a thing now.
Yeah,
I appreciate your question and everything. I think it's a good thing to get people to think about. And if you're looking to play completely by the rules and you have a cart, when you tap out, don't put your hand on it.
There you go.
There you go.
Next one is from Bobby from Cincinnati. What's up, Bobby?
Hey, old
This
Bobby.
is Bobby saying, "What's up, Bobby?" What's up, Bobby? Oh, he says, "What's up, DGAM squad? You got your DGAM songs?
I do.
We'll get those.
They're
here in a second.
good.
Yes.
We'll get those here in a second. I love my VIP sorcerer for max distance shots and can get a fully S curve out of it.
Nice.
It is especially useful when there's a big tailwind or a slight left to right wind. However, whenever a headwind is present, my sorcerer likes to flip and cut roll. How do you manage to get max distance when throwing into a headwind? And what disc should I use to complement my VIP sorcerer? Keep it real, and I hope to see you at the Idlewild Open this year."
Yeah, Idlewild's great. The Natty's running that one. So
Where's that at?
Burlington, Kentucky.
Where we got
Cincinnati.
engaged
Just
year?
across the border into Kentucky from Cincinnati is amazing.
But when is it?
August?
August. sounds
July,
right.
August. Yeah, it's going to be sweet.
Cool.
When trying to get max distance into a headwind, it is so important your angles.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the nose down and you have your disc cutting through the wind, you have a better chance that the disc is going to fly naturally and fly farther because there's less drag. Now, you've probably heard that you should stable up. So you should be finding a disc that is a little bit more overstable than your sorcerer. My suggestion would be, if you wanted to stay in the west side disc lineup, the sword. The sword is a great disc, very similar to the trespass, should have a similar rim feel to the sorcerer, but shouldn't be as understable as the Sorcerer. And it is a fantastic disc, and you can definitely get some great flight out of it. Now, if you wanted to try some other discs in other lineups, I would suggest a Trespass. Like a Lucid Trespass would probably be pretty good for those headwind
Lucids
flights.
are on the more stable side for sure.
It'd be pretty good for...
It really is a lot about angles when it comes to wind golf at all. Keeping it as flat as possible with the nose down.
Excellent. So what I was asking Eric before earlier is I know that Eric, in fact, he's texted me a couple times.
Yes, I have.
Saying that he loves the Disc Golf Answer Man playlist, the DGAM Jam that's found on Spotify. And also thank you to whoever it was, I can't remember who it was, he took the songs and he created an Apple Music playlist.
Oh, nice.
I think he said he used the logo, so you should be able to find DGAM Jam on Apple Music.
Wonderful.
But I asked Eric, because I knew he liked that kind of music. I said, you need to give me like 3 songs to put on there.
Can I do 5?
Can you do 5? Sure, if you want to do 5.
Yes.
Let me. We're gonna actually check them out. Make sure that let's see if they.
Can you toss me my phone? The one I threw on the ground.
Let's see if they meet the criteria of being like the DGAM Jam. All right. So, tell me the name of the song or the artist or however I can find it.
All right. So first is by Tycho.
Tico.
Ticho. And the song is called Awake.
Oh, there it is right there. Let's see. Let's listen. Hold on.
It's got 42 million listens, so it better be good.
Hold on. Oh, I know this song. Yes. Yeah, this will go on there. Huh?
You're going to know all of them.
I probably will know all of them.
This is all we listen to now.
Yeah.
All right, I'm officially going to put it on there. Here we go. Right click.
Get there.
Add to playlist. The DGAM Jam. It's on there. What's the next one?
This one is by Englewood, Engelwood, and it is called Sparkle.
Well, I can't seem to find that. Sparkle? Let me see if I can just find it.
It's off the album Pastel Beach.
That's the name of the song?
That's the name of the album. The song's name is Sparkle.
Oh, here we go. I think I found it. Here we go. Let's see.
Wait for it to hit. It gets real good.
I like that guitar riff. I got some horns coming in. All right, got some smooth grooves there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put that one on there. Here we go.
As Far as I Can See by Fantagram. I think I sent you this one.
As I can see. Here we go.
This is another one. Wait for the kick. Wait for it to drop. And I got a cool story about this one. Real good.
Got some cool beat in there.
Yeah. So okay. that song has like a special feeling for me, because back whenever I was playing in Texas and I was thinking I was a pro but really an am, but just played and thought I was really good. I went out to a good group of people that I went and played with a bunch in Granbury, Texas, and they had this pretty open course, and we were out there with a couple of my buddies where we got the whole putter pants thing came about, and our buddy Indian, who we called, would always have his speaker and would jam out, and he put that on, and it was, it has just been, every time I hear that song I want to play disc golf.
Nice.
So that just, it was a fitting song for the playlist.
Awesome. Okay, what's the next one?
We're going back to Englewood. I should have done this one. But yeah, This one it's Englewood. It's Universal, featuring Jeff Kaale, Kaale, Kale.
All right.
Kale.
I'm not seeing it.
How are you spelling Englewood?
Engle.
Engle.
Oh, El.
Wood.
El.
It's both.
Very
It's on.
good.
It's on Pastel Beach as well. It's called Universal. And then I got the last one.
Universal featuring Jeff Kaale.
Ah. This is right up your alley.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I love the feel of that one.
After 6.
All right. That one. You good to go?
Last one is called Love Spell by Ben Rose. Love Spell, all one word. This one's got a cool guitar riff. Ben Rose is a great guitarist. I would highly suggest his stuff.
All right. Let's check this one out. Now, I have one that's called Love Spell and then Love Spell Mystery Skulls Remix.
No, just do the Love Spell.
Okay. Oh, a little slow groove there. All right, we'll put it on the playlist. All right, guys.
Get there.
So, like I said, on Spotify and I believe Apple Music, hopefully the guy that made the Apple Music one will catch on to these new songs that are put on here. But 5 new songs added by Eric Oakley. If you like, if you watch the vlogs we do on YouTube, or if you listen to Disc Golf Answerman, and every time I have a music break, if you like that style of music, that genre, make sure you follow the DGAM Jam playlist. All right, let's see. Last time I had about 400 on there. I want to see how many we got. 475 listeners. I want to get to 500 listeners, guys. I think that'll be so awesome.
Hopefully this will
get
help.
to 500. Yeah.
I honestly, it's a playlist that I have downloaded to my phone through Spotify Premium, so I can listen to it anywhere, always without using data. It's like, it's a great. Pop it on with Tina and I are having a conversation. It's just good background music, and it's great driving music. And always, whenever I'm on the course, if we take a speaker out,
they were playing at the Monkey Island Open. They were playing it for check-in, so that was pretty cool. So
pretty rad.
Check that out, guys. All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we have for this particular episode here on Disc Golf Answerman. I want to thank Tina and Eric for joining us again, and we'll see if maybe if we have time the rest of this week, we'll get them in here in the studio again and answering more questions. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Later.